We are now entering our second week of class. I trust you're able to navigate all the different functions that we have to do on Moodle. And I also hope you got every assignment turned in and understand the details of the class. The reading this week will cover sociological research methods and culture. Research methods is the second chapter, culture is the third chapter. As a science, sociology seeks to use the scientific methods to explore human social development. Hence, you will learn about the different kinds of research methods, the processes of research, and the potential problems you may encounter. This chapter is important in that in your paper for the class, you'll be able to call upon to use some of the methods as resource material. It is equally important for you to see how certain conclusions are arrived at from a sociological perspective. Pay special attention to the steps of research, the survey methods, and the participation observation methods, as they will be used throughout the class. One of your assignments this week will be to study the charts in the PowerPoint presentation under this week's assignments. Those charts were the result of a survey conducted by my on-campus class. The hypothesis was a person coming to Christ is related to the amount of power one has over one's life. In your first week's reading, chapter 1, you read about Emil Durkheim's theory of suicide. He believed there were certain social factors which influence suicide. There were egoistic suicide, caused when one is detached from social support and has low group solidarity. Think of people who are alone and don't have any social support. Number 2, there's altruistic suicide, caused when one is so committed to one's social group that one is willing to lay down one's life. Think of a martyrs or matter of fact, the extreme terrorists we see today. And lastly, anomic suicide, caused when life is viewed as out of control or in a state of chaos. Think of the Great Depression or the collapse of the economic institutions and the number of suicides that took place. The hypothesis of the Salvation Survey was to test these same ideas on salvation. Are people more likely to come to Christ when they have low group solidarity, have less social ties, high group solidarity, are acculturated into Christ, or when society or their lives are in a state of chaos? For the assignment this week, you will need to look at the survey results to see if we prove our hypothesis. The other chapter you are to read this week is an introduction to the understanding of culture and all the components that make up culture. This is important as one seeks to understand how culture is built, why things go on in other cultures as well as one's own. This is a real important chapter in laying a foundation for the rest of the class. So pay special attention to the concepts and definition that are introduced in this chapter. Your discussion question for the week is, from your reading, what are the different functions of society? And let's apply that. What functions does dancing have in society? The last part is not in your reading. I want you to use your sociological imagination.